Yesterday's price is not today's price.
What's up, everybody? What's up? What's going on out there, everyone? Yo, I am so excited to be here today. This is going to be a monster show. This is going to be a killer show. If you're tuned in today, congratulations. You're one of the cool ones. You are where you need to be this week on this new comic book day, Thursday. We have an incredible show. I got a special guest today. I'm not going to say who, but yeah, it's going to be a good one. What up, Tumo? Shout out to Mo. Hey, check it out. We're going to do something for all you movers and money makers and big move makers out there. This show is going to be for you. This show is for you. So how do we do and what do we do? First of all, I'm your host, J-Dub, the Bad Boy Nerd. This is Bad Boy Nerd's FOC Top 10 Countdown Show. Every week, what we do is we put together a nice top 10 of some of the hottest books to get on every week's FOC. And what does FOC stand for? Final Order Cutoff. Basically, every week, all the shops, everyone has to put in their orders. This is the last day in the final week to put the orders in. Usually it's on a Sunday and a Monday. Get your orders in. Once you get your orders in, they go off, books get printed. 4 weeks later, they show up on the shop. Why do we do this show? Because I've said it before. Here's what you don't want to do. And this is the scene that I saw last week. Shout out to Liberty Hills Comics. Dr. Paul's in the house. Here's the scene that I saw last week. We talked about it on last week's show. I do this show every Thursday, the day after New Comic Book Day on a Wednesday. The scene at the store, of course, the big book was Spider-Man 7. The spoiler variant came out. I'm at the store. Now, mind you, I do the FOC on Instagram. What do? If you follow me, I put out the list every week. I put the top 10 list out. You can take my list. You can copy and paste it, shoot it off to your LCS, your shops, or go online, look for deals, whatever. Bada bing, bada boom. Get the books 4 weeks later. I go into my shop, and some of you out there probably saw the same scene. I go into my shop, and like people are like scrambling. Oh, you got Spider-Man 7. You got Spider-Man 7. I need Spider-Man 7. And of course, shop owners and the managers, they're like, nah, man, didn't make the shelf, didn't make the shelf. Then the scene what you saw was you saw guys digging in the rack. They're like looking like, oh, maybe there's an issue that's hiding. Like, oh, there's gotta be one. Nah, bruh. Certain books, sometimes a book comes out that's so hot, it's so fire, so en fuego, it doesn't even make the shelf. This is why we do this show here, FOC Top 10. We do it countdown style, starting with number 10. But I'm such a rascal. Before we even get to that, let's talk about the market value of hot comic books. So, one thing I noticed, and I posted on my Instagram page, I was talking about Spider Man 7. And I was talking about, yeah, this book's going to keep going up, right? And someone infamously, not saying any names, someone infamously said, oh, yeah, no, price is already dropping. And I'm like, bruh, it's still Wednesday afternoon. Like, I'm like, it's the Wednesday warriors, okay? Like guys like me and you out there, we're the Wednesday warriors. We're the ones that go out there and get all the hot books early. So this guy posted on Instagram, and don't get me wrong, not trolling. Shit was funny, but no, this ain't a troll. But it was like the timing was funny. The timing was like, yeah, the book price is dropping. And it was like 15, $18. And I'm like, bro, wait for the second wave. I said, when the second wave hits, that's when the price goes up. What did I mean by the second wave? The second wave, when you look at like a hot book, new comic book day, you got your Wednesday vultures, your Wednesday warriors like us. We're in the store snatching up all the good books because we know, you know what I'm saying? We know what's going on. So we're there getting them. Then you got your people getting off of work. You got your casual readers, people that come on in a Thursday, people that come in on a Friday. They're all looking for a book that's already sold out. So when they get to the store and they find out the bad news that the book's already sold out, where do they go next? Yeah, they go to eBay. Right. And that's what I was explaining on the Instagram page. Like, look, when the second wave hits, the price is going to jump. And this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about that price jump. But more importantly, we're going to talk about how to build out a very solid collector portfolio. And we're actually going to talk about comic books and how key comic books can compete in the marketplace, even against the stock market. Because after last week's, what do you want to call it, episode, last week's madness, I actually took a look at the investment numbers, the rate of return, and I'm going to show you guys something here. All right. I want to talk about exactly how effective this FOC top 10 can be, depending on how the information is presented and how we share this information. So let me show you this real quick. And we're going to talk about some real grown up numbers here. So, first of all, we're going to look at a book that was on my FOC page about 2 months ago. Okay. Let's take a look at that. So, one of my FOC picks, I think this was my number one pick, probably number two, was Star Wars Bounty Hunters 32. It was the first full appearance and the first cover appearance of the Inferno Squad. And again, retails for $4. And as you can see, it was flipping for $15. Now I keep track throughout the weeks of what the high was. So the ceiling for this one was like 15 bucks. Now, here's where things get very interesting. This is the part that you really want to pay attention to. Okay, you see that $15. Now, me thinking the way I am, I wanted to see exactly what that gain was for someone who gets a hot book and flips it. So I go over here to percentage calculator. I type in $4. What is that increase percentage to $15? And when you do the math, it comes out to a 275% gain. Let me show this real quick. I want to show you guys something here. There we go. Let's check that out right there. Look at that. So when you think in terms of raw numbers, this is what you're looking at. You take a $4 book, you flip it for $15. Your rate of return, look at that rate of return, 275%. Now, this is pretty obvious. I'm going to say if you can do any kind of flip and anywhere in life, stocks, bonds, sales, and get 275% return, trust me, you are crushing. And this was actually one of the lowest books on this flip market. Let me show you something else. This was Wakanda 4 second print. All right. The highest I found at the time was on eBay. All right. Let me show this real quick. I'm going to show y'all this eBay one real fast because, here we go. Let's see where we at. Wakanda. This is a game. This is some game changing information right here. So there we go. Check this out. Second print Wakanda 4 is one of the highest ones. Sold for $20. All right, that's another $4 book selling for $20. Now, if you looked at that, and I'm not going to do all the eBay pages. All right, I'm just going to talk about it and show you the rate of return for each one. But this is where things get real interesting. We'll stick with the percentage calculator. All right. So check this out. $4 retail, and in some cases, if you actually bought it cheaper, like say you did a pre-order and got it for like $350 or something online and paid like $5 shipping, but we'll stick with retail price. So percentage increase, a $4 book that you flip for $20. Folks, yo, you're looking at a 400% return on your investment. And that's off of one flip. All right. It's off of one flip. That's a 5-time multiplier right there. All right. Uh the all-time high, one of my top picks was Dungeons and Dragons number 1, and I said in one of my previous posts to try to get a hold of as many 1 in 10 variants as possible. And I posted on my Instagram page one of the highest ones sold for $75. All right, folks, hold on to your seats. The percentage gain from a $4 book to a $75 flip is an incredible 1,775% return. Yes, that you're looking at that correctly. 1,775% return. And if you were savvy enough to grab as many copies of Spider-Man 7, the highest one sold on eBay, and I posted this on Instagram, went for $69.95. We'll just round it up to 70. That would have netted you rate of return on your investment 1,650%. So we're looking at some insane numbers, guys. Like these are insane numbers, okay? And when you think about investments and you don't think of the dollar amount, you think of in terms of percentage points. This kills anything else you could possibly do, like in life, in terms of ROI. This is killing it, okay? I actually looked up the numbers for the stock market and they were abysmal. You would actually do better buying into comic books in the past year, okay? Even if you were to sell your comic books at a slight loss, in most cases, you would still outperform the stock market, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones. But if you could pre-order the top 10 books on the FOC list, get them at a slight discount, like a 20% discount, and sell it, all right, at market price, cover price, you would still net, well, a 20% gain, and you would far outweigh the American stock market. So, it's one of those things where I'm looking at how viable it is to actually go heavy on an FOC top 10 list when you have a big book. Because even if you only get a 4-time multiple, even a book that only sells for $15 on a flip, again, you're looking at a 250%, 400%, 500% return on your investment. So with that, that when I saw the numbers were so staggering. I was like, you know what? I got to bring in a financial guru on this. So I am very, very pleased to have the one and only, the man, the maestro, the sorcerer, the master manipulator of the comic book page. Let's have a big warm welcome for Dr. Paul. Here he is, folks.
Hey,
What's going
thanks for
on,
the
man? What's
intro.
going on? This is a
What's
you
up,
know
y'all?
the when I looked at the numbers, I was like, damn, are these right? And I ran it through the website. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's actually
Yeah,
correct. Then I did my little calculation on calculator, double check. So one thing I did was I went and looked at, well, what if someone invested in the stock market, bonds, what have you? And I know that
yeah,
I know that you're up to all this. So, Dr. Paul, if you
yeah,
could, speak a little bit on the stock market first of all and where everything's
yeah.
going.
I, hey, thanks for having me. I
Yeah.
do have a few things to say on the subject.
Okay. Okay. Oh
um,
boy.
and it's even a better opportunity than you just described, frankly, because you're just quoting raw rate of return, right?
That's right.
When we look at rate of return, normally we look at annualized rate of return. So you're looking at a rate of return that happened in a 30-day span or 6 weeks. When is final order cutoff? And then when would you sell that hot book?
Final order cutoffs are usually 4 weeks in advance, and you can ride that wave. In terms of Spider-Man 7 and Dungeons and Dragons, number one, it was in a matter of days, like 3 days.
Typically, right? You're looking at 4 weeks, basically, right?
Right, 4 weeks.
What that means is if you were to take your $4 and you buy that book and you go 4 weeks and then you sell it for, let's say you don't have to hit the peak. Let's say you sold it for $50. You were happy with that return, right? Now
Yeah.
you take that $50 and you put that into something. Now you can buy 12 copies of a $4 book, right? And
Right.
let's say that one, it just goes to $25. Okay. And then
Yeah.
you do that again the next month. And 12 times 25, that's $300. So your $4 in 60 days is $300. Now you take that $300, you buy more books, right? So when you look at the annualized rate of return, it's far in excess of the numbers you are putting up. That's just the flat rate of return, right?
Right.
So there's a tremendous opportunity here. And I do think you're putting out a tool to help people capitalize on it. It's hard to believe you're doing it for free sometimes.
Hey man,
It's
look,
great.
this is you know what? This is free game. And let me tell you this. Let me tell you, it's funny you mentioned that because here's what I don't do. I don't do a lot of giveaways, if you notice, and give
Yeah.
away free stuff because I'm giving away free game, baby.
Yeah. So with
I'm
that
giving away
said,
all this free game.
yeah, with that said, I mean, I actually put out a video. So I have a lot to say on the subject. I'll try to be brief.
That's
Um,
fine.
2022, horrific year for US and in fact, world stock markets. In fact, for all asset classes.
Right.
Stock market was down over 20%. S&P 500's really the only thing serious investors talk about. Maybe Russell 3000. Don't even talk the Dow anymore. It's too narrow. It doesn't represent the broad market. But stocks and bonds usually are inversely correlated. What that means is when stocks go up, bonds usually go down and vice versa. It takes a very special set of circumstances for both of them to move in the same direction. Last year was such a horrific year for all asset classes that bonds were also down greater than 10%. First time in over 150 years that US stocks and bonds both down more than 10%. In addition,
hang on.
crypto. Yeah,
Let me
please.
jump in on that. I thought stocks and bonds are supposed to be the safe bets. Aren't those supposed to be the safety
Right.
nets?
Well, they
And they
are,
were down.
long term. Yeah, long term they are.
Okay.
And
Long term.
and to be
Okay.
fair, stocks and bonds you can pretty much fire and forget, right? You
Right.
don't have to feed them. You don't have to change out your bags and boards. You don't have to have insurance for them. You don't have to lug them around. You don't have to dedicate a room or a closet in your house and then have your loved one pissed at you because guests have to sleep on a cot. Like, there's certain things they have going for them.
Yeah.
So it's to be fair, a lot of things to look at, but let me keep on asset classes just for a minute because I have another point
Yeah.
to make here.
Go
Crypto
ahead.
last year, 2022, horrific year for crypto.
Yes, it was.
Bitcoin down 80%, cut down to 20% of its pre 22 high. Crypto is actually the asset that collectibles correlate best with.
Okay.
Yeah, so comic books, magic cards, high-end sport cards, Rolexes and Swiss watches and other collectibles like that, they're going to
Right.
correlate best with Bitcoin, or with crypto.
Crypto in general.
They
Right.
they do correlate with the stock market, but they correlate most closely. If you were to graph them together, you look at what we call the R-squared value, they're going to correlate most closely with crypto. So it was a horrific year for crypto last year too. So then we look at comic books and other collectibles. Generally, comic books have been cut at least in half. We're talking bigger books. We're talking long-term investment books. So traditional asset classes, and even those slightly outside the traditional asset classes, like collectibles that have been considered blue chip, had a horrific year last year. Now, if you're a collector, if you're a long-term buyer, it was a great year for you because if you were smart and you sold some things in the phenomenal bull market we had during the pandemic, then you
Yes.
had some capital available. You had some dry powder, as we like to say in the investing realm. I was telling people to sell some assets. Anyone who would listen, not very many people were, because the nature of bull markets is when things are going up, everybody gets giddy and it can only go up from here. It's only going higher, right?
Right.
And
Right.
I
Right.
think that mindset is what keeps a lot of people from making money in collectibles and comic books specifically. It's also what stops a lot of people from being successful in any of the games that are within this game. So that
So
brings
do
me
you
to
feel
another
like,
topic.
with that
Go
being
ahead.
said, wouldn't you say that guys like us, we have a clear advantage over the entire market because we're so far ahead of the game, especially doing FOC top tens?
Oh, I think you're way ahead of the market. I'm not sure I put myself in that.
Hey, if you
I'm
if you
playing a
follow
different
me and
game
turn
though.
on alerts, you're right there with me.
Right. And I'm playing a different game though. And I want to talk about this for a moment too. One of the
Go ahead.
great things about comic books is there's so many games within this game, right? You can be interested in Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Copper Age, modern books, slabs, raw books, variants, signature series, original art. You can be interested in whatever you want to be interested in here, right? And there's opportunities in all of them. There's opportunities for short term and long term in all of those things. What is important is discipline, having a plan, and sticking with it, right? So one of the
Absolutely.
things that I think, amateur types who tune into maybe an investment channel like CNBC, they go, well, they just had this stock on, and one expert said sell it, and another expert said buy it. What the hell? Like, if even the experts don't know what's going on, how am I supposed to, right? What you have
Right.
to understand is there's time horizons for everything. Those guys and gals could both be right. Sometimes you see an asset and it's beaten down 50%. One guy will look at that and say, hey, I think it's going down 10% more. And so I would sell it. I don't want that. I'll buy it 10% lower from here. Another guy would look at that and say, shit, 10 years from now, that's going to be 100% higher, 400%, 1,000% higher than it is today. I want to buy now. I'm not concerned about if it goes down 10 more percent, right? So your time horizon matters. It matters a lot.
Well,
The
I'm
game
glad
that
you
you're
mentioned that, and
playing,
we'll
yeah,
and
the
we're
game
gonna
that
end
you're
that.
playing
Well,
is very time sensitive.
yeah, no, that's a perfect way to put it because, and we'll wrap up that segment with that exact with what you just said right there because one of the benefits of doing a show like this, the like a FOC show, we're actually it's like we're buying futures. All
Mhm.
right, we're buying futures on a product that has not even hit the market yet. So you're talking about 4 weeks out. You're buying things. What is it called? Like buying on margin, basically. Like
You're
if
buying an
something costs
option.
buying
You're
an
buying an
option, yeah, if
option.
something
That's what you're doing.
costs
Mhm.
$4 retail, you can actually order it in advance for maybe 350, in some cases 329, 349,
Mhm.
and buy up in bulk. Then when it comes time, what we call the maturity rate or the
Mhm.
maturity of it, that's when all the intrinsic value has kicked in, and then your rate of return. With this, with what we had last week, that was phenomenal because there were two major books that had a massive rate of return in
Yep.
back-to-back weeks, and that rarely happens in the
Right.
comic book game, especially like that. Now, if you remember in season one, I did the end of the year top 20 for 2022. One thing that I noticed was every month there was at least one home run. Every
Yep.
single month there was at least one home run book. And if you were to buy that book and load up on it, that one home run book would have basically funded your entire collection for the whole month.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, even if a book, let's say, only flips for $20, that's a
Yep.
5-time multiplier. That's a
Yep.
400% return.
Yep. You got to do the work. You got to be disciplined, but there is a game here to play. It's fun and it funds itself and it gets your significant other off your back regarding your budget and it allows you to grow your collection. So
Yeah.
it's but you got to do the homework or you got to have somebody like J-Dub do the homework for you and listen.
I mean, look at this, man. This is a $4 book
Yeah.
going for, look at that, 69. And I specifically highlighted this one because this was the ceiling. This was the highest one. And this was a single issue. And then you had some going for 65 for a set. A lot of people were snatching them up $60 for a set. So that's basically $30 per issue. But yeah, I mean, 70 bucks for a single,
Yeah.
$70 for two, 35 per. And, that's just one of those things where, again, it was just too easy of an asset class to get into, as they say in the investment world, getting in on the ground level, like you're on
Oh
the
yeah.
ground level and you're watching that asset class mature and peak. You want to speak to that before we hop into top 10?
Yeah. Again, who's going to do the homework on a and reams of data, Q10s, quarterly reports, annual reports, all the other stuff, right? And then all the different analysts that cover that stock. Or watch J-Dub's show, pick your favorite couple from the top 10, order yourself 10 copies, be disciplined, do your work, and get out there and sell them. Don't try to sell them at the peak. Just get a nice return on them. Don't be greedy. This is something J-Dub taught us last year. Like, make sure you're selling them. Sell them. You got to move them, right? Because one of the things about this is timing is everything, right? Yesterday's
Right.
price, not today's price, right? But tomorrow's price, not
Every
today's
time.
price either.
That's true.
So when they're hot, you gotta have some sense for it. You gotta know when to let them go. And again, I would say this is an old axiom in investing, right? Pigs get slaughtered, right? I mean, the first part of it is bulls make money, bears make money, but hogs get slaughtered. If
Right. Right.
and what that means is you can make money in bear markets, you can make money in bull markets, but if you're greedy, you're probably going to get in trouble. And so trying to get the max dollar for these is not the winning game, right? Trying to get a really nice rate of return and flip all of your extras and then turn that money into some more FOC books for the next month.
Would you say would you say a 3x is a decent return?
And you know what? I think it depends, and I'd like to hear your take on it when you decide to sell. I mean, everybody should probably have their own sort of metric that they use, right, for in terms of the return before they pull the trigger. I think the best way to play the game probably is to be paying close attention to the acceleration of the price and
Right.
watching how quickly it's going up. And then you've got to put some homework in, right? But look at that acceleration of price. And when you start to see the price faltering a little bit, just put yours in 10% below the last one sold and let them go. I would
Right.
say something like that would probably be what I would do. Because, you might be angry if you took $20 for this book and then, the next day it's selling for 70. On the other hand, you could say, ooh, it's selling for 70. It's only going up from here. I'm going to list mine for 80. And
Right.
3 months from now, that book sells for $20 because the FOMO's over and folks have moved on, right? So I think I don't have a hard and fast rule. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
I remember I sold and I have this up. I have this in real time so you can see it. So I remember I sold a couple of I had like 10 copies of 8 Billion Genies #1 first print raw. Sold them for 18 a piece. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Ended up selling 2. I mean, right off the bat, that's a 350% rate of return. Like,
Yeah,
dude, that's insane, man. Like
absolutely.
that's nuts to get a return that off the bat that quickly.
And another strategy that we do in the stock market all the time, right? We dollar cost average, right? So you
Right.
might say to yourself, okay, this book popped, it's $20. I don't know where it goes from here. Boy, I don't want to sell all of them for $20. I'll kick myself if it's 60 tomorrow. Sell 2 copies. Say you bought 5, say you bought 10, just to make math easy. Sell 2
Right.
copies here at $20 and see what happens. List 2 more at 25 or 30 and see what happens, right? And then if you see that deceleration of the price, then I would say drop your price down below whatever is sort of the going rate out there and get rid of the rest of your copies. Make sure you do that. Don't be the last man standing, right?
Yeah.
Because we do have some great stories where 5 years later that book is worth $100 or more. But the truth is, most of these books 5 years from now are going to be in the dollar bins or the half price bins. Some of them will be $10 or $20 books. Very, very few of them are going to be $100 books. So I don't think that's it. I think if you try to play that game and you try to find the $100 books and you're swinging for grand slams, you're swinging for the fences, I think you're
Right.
setting yourself up to lose. I think that is, again, that's greed, right? That's
That's a very,
being a
you know
hog,
what? That's
and
that's
you're going to get
actually a
slaughtered.
great baseball analogy is perfect. Because when you have a bunch of people, when you're only trying to hit home runs, you're missing out on singles and
And
doubles.
you're striking out a lot.
Man, exactly. And that hurts. That can really
Yeah.
hurt. I mean, like, look at this. I got this up on the screen. We have a like this right here, 8 Billion Genies. That's a raw, and that's cover A, and that's cover B. And this is cover B of #2. $60, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is an $8 investment right there
Yeah. Yeah.
for $60. And that's a fairly new book. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. But
That's
yeah,
one of
this
the
is why
few
this is why I do this
that's
FOC
probably
show.
still a hold for long term, right? But most of these books I would not say are in that category.
No, most of them aren't. And again, it's one thing I recognized from last season 1, was the fact that there was at least one home run every month.
Mhm. Yeah.
At least one. There's
Yeah.
about 500 books that come out each month. There's about 125 new books on every FOC. So if he only took the top 2 per, but see, that's the thing though. I
They weren't
had in
all
my
hot
countdown, I
picks.
had Spider-Man 7 at number 6.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it
I
turned
think,
out to be the big
people
one.
have to, well, and this comes into like, everybody says buy what you like, then you'll never be sad, right? So, I watch your FOC. As you know, I don't buy a lot of new books. But there's always 1 or 2 that stand out to me. Either the story really resonates or I'm really into the character or the art or the artist or something. So, people don't have to buy your whole list. They can use your list as a tool to be an informed consumer, an informed investor, and then they can make decisions from there.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But I tell you what, you know what? This actually turned out to be a very informative show. It went in a direction that I wasn't expecting it. So I'm almost tempted to wrap it up just with this, just with the investment market update. I didn't know you was going to bring so much info like that.
You know what? If you're going to wrap the show, I actually have one thing I'd like to share.
Go ahead with it.
Because I'd like to also, we hyped the show, we hyped the opportunity.
Yeah.
I'd like to give the counterpoints. I'd like to show people the stumbling blocks and what to look out for, because you also can just, let's be frank, most people who are collectors who sort of invest or dabble in this,
Yeah.
they're not actually getting a return on investment because they're not disciplined, right? There's a lot of hidden costs. And so I think it's important because we want people to be successful. We want people to watch
Absolutely.
the FOC and then have great returns and have great success and turn that into more comics and more fun, right? So
Absolutely.
I actually put a video. I don't know if I can share, J-Dub.
You should be able to. While you're figuring that out, I'm gonna go ahead and start the top 10 list, and I'm gonna read through real quick.
I'm going to share a video with everybody that's actually a video on my channel of,
Okay.
I make the argument for not investing in comic books. And I
Why
talk
would you
about
do
all
that?
the pitfalls, right? But here's my
Okay.
point.
All right.
You should know how you could potentially lose, right? These
Okay.
are all the things to avoid to make sure that you're successfully using the FOC and getting a good return on investment. So it's
All right.
just basically episode 1, and it talks about these are all the things you need to consider if you're investing in comic books. And frankly, if you're not disciplined, if you don't have a plan, you are going to lose money in comic books. Because if you were just spending $100 every FOC, but you're not putting in the hard work to sell them, to keep track of them, and do all that stuff, where would you be? You would just be $100 poorer every month. Well, you might be really well read and you might be happy.
With a stack of books is what you're doing.
Right? And then that's stacking up, and then you're sticking out, complaining about it, etc. Right? So I don't know how to share that link. Can we put it in the description?
What you could do is you should be able to pull it up and just do it as a screen share.
Yeah, let's see.
Tell you what, do that.
I'll share it after you. I'll figure it out.
And screen share, you should be able to go ahead and just blast it up on the screen. Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you start your list, and then I'll try to do that at the end. I'll try to figure it out while you're doing.
Here's the deal. We're going to start at number 10, like we always do. Number 10. Okay. Beautiful cover. Love the cover. Batman Incorporated. See, for me, Batman Incorporated is a great book because Ghostmaker takes over the team, but in issue number 8, Joker puts together his team. First time, Joker Incorporated. Main cover is dope because it has the entire cast of Joker Incorporated. Then it has a 1 in 25 design variant. I'm going to put in an order for a few of the main covers and also try to snag the 1 in 25. I'm probably trying to get one under ratio, maybe get one for like $20. But yeah, that was split in at number 10 because I'm a big fan of Batman Incorporated, and I do want to see Joker Incorporated in action. DC Specs is not as heavy, but it's still a great story, so you can't really go wrong.
Right.
Now, number 9.
Another thing is
what about it?
These cover Bs and the design variants, they have a beautiful cover stock.
They always do, yeah.
They're easy 9/8. If it does go that direction where it becomes a book that people want slabbed, they're killing Marvel with respect to the cover stock on these cover Bs and the variants. They're just beautiful paper, and so that is also in your favor.
Oh yeah, that's what I always say. Marvel is killing it with the stories, but DC artwork and quality, it's not even close. It's not even close. But in this case,
their cover Bs.
Coming in at number 9. Now I know a lot of Miles Morales fans out there. So this right here, this is a Miles Morales Spider-Man number. Let me see, which number is this one? This is Miles Morales Spider-Man number 6, and this is the Marvel Icon variant. I just love this one because of the bold color statement that it's making.
Yeah.
I First of all, I love this current outfit that he has.
Right.
This outfit, yeah, like this uniform, this outfit, this costume really worked for me. So this is the one that I'm going to be picking up. Pure cover play.
Right. Beautiful.
Yeah, pure cover play for this one. Number 8. Now this one is supposed to be a pretty big one for all the Venom fans. Looking at all the different ones. Now they say Venom's going to turn into something bigger and badder and more powerful than ever before. We'll see how they treat that. But this is a beautiful cover. I love that cover. It's almost got like a Sam Keith quality
It
to it
does,
right
doesn't it?
there.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, that's the
Sam
first
Keith, the
thing I thought of when I
Max.
saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually Philip Tan. Philip Tan doing his best Sam Keith impression.
Yeah. That's great.
Great cover. Now this next one coming in at number
So
7 this week.
just to be clear, which variant
What's
is
that?
this?
Which one?
Which variant is this?
This is Philip Tan. This is a Philip Tan variant.
So it'd be an open order though.
All of these are open order. All
Okay.
of them. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like sometimes I got to confirm. Like, is this Yeah, no, I cross
That's
check
cool.
between like 3 different places to make
Yeah,
sure.
that's
In
cool.
one case, I had
So this should just be regular cover price, and as long as you get in your FOC order, you can get this cover for. You're not going to have to hunt it down. It's something you're going to have to pay ratio for or anything like that. This just cover price because it's an open order variant.
all you gotta do is order. You just gotta put in your request for the Philip Tan variant. You get this bad boy
Beautiful.
right here. This is one of the biggest books coming out, man. This next one, number 7.
Wow.
Have you? Hold on. Have you heard the story about this yet?
What is this? This got to be is this Arthur Adams? Is this Art
No, this
Adams
is
cover?
actually God, what is this guy's name? So
Oh
this
my
is
gosh.
fantastic. This is Fantastic Four number 7. All right.
Wow.
And this is literally a 700 character variant.
He's trying to break George Perez's record.
Well, and what is George Perez's record?
I don't know, but George Perez was famously said, "Okay, I'm gonna put more comic book characters on the cover than anybody ever has in history," right? And so I don't know what the exact count was, but George Perez, I think it was in. He's done it a couple times where he even broke his own record. Somebody
Really?
that knows more about it can tell us, or we'd have to look it up. But this is incredible. 700 characters. Wow.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it's so many characters. It's going to happen. He had to put it on 2 different books.
You know
because he
what?
couldn't
This
fit
is
all of them.
great. This is great as like a nerd contest, right? Like you can challenge one of your buddies. Who can name the most here? Like, can
Oh, I
anybody
already
name
started
all
doing
of
it.
these? Damn,
No,
that's
I already started
crazy.
doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you
Because
figure, hey, I know a lot of Fantastic Four, and then you go, do I know 700 though?
I think I named around 30 something until I finally stopped.
I
Because I
mean, I
was like,
see
all right,
some
hit them
from
on.
here. Looks like Puck on the bottom there. They got a lot of characters and aren't really Fantastic Four kind of centric characters, huh? Well, you had to
No,
go 700 deep.
this dude just threw up 700. And here's the thing: I couldn't even find a. Oh, here we go. You'll love this. All right, check this out. Let's go big with it. Let's do this. Let's do this. Here we go. Let's go big with it.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
All right.
You want to start at the bottom left, bottom right.
Bottom left. I mean,
Okay. Those are the mole man's like molings on the bottom
yeah,
left,
the
right?
molings. Absolutely. Yeah.
Is that Hellstrom above him? I don't know who that is. Already I'm stumped.
That's Damian Hellstrom. Good job.
Okay, I got him. Okay. Then here's a early version of the Thing, Sue.
Early
There's
version
the
of the Thing.
Fantastic Four, right? Then that's
Yeah.
Triton from the Inhumans, Gorgon from the Inhumans, Crystal from
That's
the
right.
Inhumans,
Yep.
Karnak. All right.
Karnak.
Now
That's is that Alicia? Next
Masters?
to
Oh yeah, because that's her dad, the puppet
that's her
master, right
dad.
next to her, and she's got her arm
Yeah,
on her dad. Yep.
because she's blind, right?
Yep. Yep.
Then
I don't know
you
who
got
the gal is with the
Hawkeye and
purple mohawk. Who's the purple mohawk in
Purple
the front?
Mohawk
To
in
the
the front.
left of
Oh, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know who that little girl is. I mean,
I don't know
that's
who that is.
clearly yeah,
Hawkeye,
Hawkeye,
right?
Puck.
Puck.
Got some X-Men. I mean, let's scroll up a little bit. Oh, right there. There you go. Mo-Man right there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. You see this? Yeah, this would be a good
See,
drinking game with your nerd buddies.
this is great. Look at this. Open order. I mean, look at this. This is goes
This
on
is
forever.
open order.
And
Wow.
this is cover. This is the first cover. The second issue is going to have the rest. No, it's nuts, man.
Hey, there's Herbie.
No, it's nuts. When I saw that, I'm like, dude, I'm not even a Fantastic Four stand like that, but I'm like, I'm definitely getting
Yeah,
this. Like, you got to have it.
that's cool.
Like you said,
That's
it's a
so cool.
drinking game.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 6 on this FOC. Check this out.
Oh, cool.
I think this is the first time in history that the Ninja Turtles and Street Fighter team up in the same publication.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure of it. And
Anytime
yeah,
you get two
I read the
franchises like that.
dude, two major franchises. Of
Yeah.
course, IDW. This is the Williams variant right here. Killer cover. There's many covers, but I saw this. I was like, oh shit, this is cover B. Absolutely love it.
Cool.
Absolutely love it. Now, immediately getting into number 5, this is where things really start to tick up in terms of value that you're looking for. That's why I love this week's book. I wish there were more guys from the trench game to see this stuff, but they can watch the replay. So here we go. Number 5, right here. This is hold on. This is Destiny New York. All right.
Okay.
Destiny New York, Mystical Mafia. This book has recently been picked up and optioned to do a streaming series, live action.
Oh, wow. Live action.
Yeah. And
So what
something that
what issue is this?
this is number 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Destiny New York, Mystical Mafia number 1.
And so
This
is this a
is
first appearance book?
well, it's going to be so this is like the second volume of the ongoing storyline,
Mm-hmm.
but it does introduce new characters.
Sure.
And this is the cover C, open order virgin variant for retail price.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely. And
I
that's
really
one of the
like,
things when you have an option series like this and it has different volumes, you don't know which volume is going to be the screenplay.
right.
So,
Yeah, this
it
could be
actually
the valuable one.
it could be the one. So you
Yeah.
get the first one of volume 1 for the first appearance, which by the way, I ordered about 5 while they were still going for retail because I was
Nice,
very
nice.
proactive. And then yeah, I'm going to put in the order for this virgin variant killer cover, man. Love this cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see if we do this justice.
I
Now,
really like the virgin variants, but I also like just the really minimal trade dress, right? I think that just the clean look gives the artists, room to really use the whole palette. And so I know some people don't love virgin variants. Some people don't like variants. That's fine. There's room for everybody, but I love virgin variants. This is really nice
oh
looking.
no, man. Yeah, I love virgin. Yeah, that was another big book. One of my top picks was The Last Barbarians, number 1. I don't know if you remember.
I
If
remember
you
that.
remember,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Mhm.
I was like, and I told everyone, I said, hey, you can order cover D&E virgin variants at retail. And what
Yeah.
do? They sold in the aftermarket for $15, $20 a piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what can you do? You can only tell people, right?
Right. Yeah. Those are those are the singles, right? That we're talking
Yeah,
about, hitting singles all
hitting
season
singles.
long. Yep.
Hell, I mean, if you can flip a $4 book for $20, that's shit. That's at least a triple, a
And then,
double.
there you go. Yeah. Sorry, I
No,
didn't
but
mean to
see,
undersell your
this is where
your
money starts to
prowess.
come in. This is where the
Right.
money starts to come into play, starting at number 4. Again, 1,770% return on the first issue.
Oh my
Dr. Paul,
gosh.
who did you know talking about this book besides me? Anybody else?
Nobody. You know what? And this 1 in 10 is so beautiful too. I don't know. Who do they get to do the art on this?
It's like a new person. I
Is
don't
it?
know who their name. I mean, I could look it up
I
real quick,
mean,
but he's doing.
I love the
They have
art direction, right? Like this is
right.
it's reminiscent of the cartoon, but it's in a comic book style, and it's also reminiscent of a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. It's really they nailed it with the art direction on these 1 in 10s.
Yeah, Tim Levins. Tim Levins is the guy. He's doing all of the 1 in 10s. And
Yeah,
yeah, no, like you, and that's
yeah,
the
it's
one thing I was
obvious.
pointing that's one thing I was pointing out to people. I was like, they're not going to print a lot of these. It's only going to be like 3,000, maybe 4,000 total, if
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And I'm like, the 1 in 10s are the ones to get. So what I
yeah.
do is I put in a big order. I'll order like 10 copies, 5 cover A, 5 cover B,
Hmm.
and then it unlocks the 1 in 10. So my shop kicks that in for me. The
Right,
thing I found out the other day, I posted about on Instagram, they didn't even announce it. The cover Bs are connecting variants.
right. I saw your
Yeah,
post.
so they form a big
It's going to be so
see,
much
that's what
fun.
the crazy thing is. Once everybody finds that out, when it's all said and done, the word gets out,
Yep,
everyone's gonna be hunting them down like, "Oh, I gotta get the cover Bs. I gotta put this mural together." I'm
yep,
like,
yep.
"Dude, there you can grab them now. Open order. Like, get them now. Retail, $3, $4.
Yep.
This
Yeah,
is
I'm
the one
super
everyone's
excited
gonna go
about this.
this is the one that everyone's gonna go crazy. Everyone's gonna go
Dungeons
crazy
and
about.
Dragons, yeah, is a franchise I think on the rise. The movie was phenomenal. I think it's going to be the beginning, hopefully the anchor movie of a whole new franchise.
Mhm.
Um, this is a franchise that was down and out in the late 90s, purchased by Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast has since been acquired by Hasbro. There's money behind this. There's potential. They really executed the movie phenomenally. There's a
Yeah,
huge fan base. There's so much source material. It's insane. They did that new movie. They didn't even use any characters we know from any of the source material. They sort of made reference to a few, but they didn't
yeah,
use any of the main characters we know from any of the source material. This franchise has so much potential. It's bananas.
absolutely. Well, with that being said, you're gonna love number 2 on this list. But oh, let me tell you something I did. So I managed to snag 3 1 in 10 incentives of the first one. As you saw, they peaked at
Ooh.
$75. Yeah, I got 3. Dude, I put in a monster order. And I told
Yeah.
everyone, I said, I even said on Instagram, like, I'm grabbing 20 copies. So I
Hmm.
unlocked 10. My store grabbed 10, and they gave me all
Hmm.
3, all
Oh,
3 of the 1 in
wow.
10 from a 30 store. And
Nice.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So what ended up happening, I actually, I flipped one, made a
Hmm.
ton of money. I
Hmm.
went back and bought a second copy at market price for around $40.
Okay.
Because the way I see it, let me see, 60, 40, so that's a $20 differential that I pocketed. I went back, got one for 40, so basically I paid $20 for another copy. And I'm
Right.
like, dude, there's so much value in this book. Like, that's a long-term play, like you said.
Yeah.
D&D franchise, they finally got it right. I felt
I
good.
think they have. I think they have. Yeah. I've been looking at we haven't talked about this, but the first appearance of Dungeons and Dragons in comic books is actually graphic novel format. It's a 5-issue limited series called The Dragonlance Saga. The
Right.
first 3 were published by TSR directly, and then issues 4 and 5 of the saga were published by DC. 4 and 5 were dramatically underprinted. They're the tough ones to find, but the Dragonlance Saga #1 is the first appearance of Dungeons and Dragons in a comic book format. I've been buying them. I recently did a video where I removed a sticker from one of them as a how-to. There's so much. Frankly, I've also been buying the old Dungeons and Dragons rule books up. I think that
Nice.
this is a franchise on the rise,
It is.
and there's a lot of potential here. Can't wait to see some of the characters that have been developed in some of the source material, like by R.A. Salvatore and other great authors, right? There's a lot of potential
Well,
here. It's very exciting as a fan.
they're gonna go mining all of those different editions of Dungeons& and Dragons to pull out as many
As
characters
well
as they
they
can.
should. Yeah, yeah,
Look,
yeah.
you can make these movies for around 50 million, under $100 million, and the fans are just going to keep coming back as long as you
It
do
was
it the right
crazy.
way. Oh
Yeah, it
yeah,
was crazy. All you need to do is throw a displacer beast and an owl bear in, and you had us at owl bear, right?
you had me. They definitely had me at that. Definitely. So number three, man, this one blew me away because normally this one is usually a store exclusive. As a matter of fact, this is normally an artist direct market exclusive. So I had to call around. I said, "Hey, is this on open order? I need you to double check." Everyone's gave me a thumbs up, like, "Yeah, this is on." I was like, "Get the f out of here!" So the only reason it's not number one is because two and one are pretty heavy, but number three, dude, come on,
Wow. Okay.
dude.
I
You
I'm
know,
going
do you
in
know
on
what
this
you're
one.
looking at? Do you know what this
I'm going
is,
in on this one. No
bro?
idea. It doesn't matter. Doesn't
This is
matter.
the this is the famous Christopher negative.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, normally he sells these directly from his website.
Yeah, so this is the artist that was famous for all of the action figure covers he did initially. That was a huge trend, kind of played out, right?
Yeah,
I think, long term, those are still good holds. And now he's become very well known for these negative space covers. And it's
man,
not that we didn't
man.
have negative space covers before, but he's taken it to a new level.
No, he is. He did some. I want to say Spider-Man. He's done some X-Men. He did a Rogue. That was a huge one.
Yep.
But yeah, he was actually selling some. And like I said, they're usually store exclusives. So when I saw this, I was like, "Are you serious? This is Avengers number one." And yeah,
Wow.
this is the Christopher
This
Negative
is
Space.
it's John Tyler Christopher,
Yeah,
Chris
yeah, that's him.
Christensen. Yeah.
No, pretty sure it's Christopher. Let me go look it up. Now
John
you got me
Tyler
look.
Christopher?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hang on. Let me look. Now I gotta
I
look.
believe you. I believe you.
You got me not believing myself. Now I gotta go look.
It's John Tyler something.
Yeah,
JT. It's
yeah,
JT.
JT Christopher. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because my
Christopher.
last FOC had the Darth Maul action figure,
Oh,
but the
yeah,
Darth
yeah,
Maul
yeah.
hologram action figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, dude, this is a killer. I actually already put in an order for this. I called the stores and they're like, "Give me 3 copies."
Wow. So, I don't really have like a favorite comic book character. I have lots that I really enjoy, right? As people say,
Right.
what's your favorite? Most people can answer that. I really can't. But Vision is definitely up there for me. I recently on my channel did an unboxing for an Avengers number 57. Obviously, his first appearance with CGC 9.0. And I talked a bit about the character and the opportunity and why he has such a fan base. And, not for nothing, but we've got Vision Quest coming up and
Yeah.
people are sleeping on the Vision right now. I kind of can't believe it. This is just like you're talking about, some of these FOC recommendations you make, it's like free money. Just put your order in and then flip them, right? Just do the work.
Right.
Same thing is true on books right now. Man, the first appearance of the Vision is way down. The first appearance of the White Vision, Fantastic Four, or rather, West Coast Avengers number 45, way down. Well, like that peaked at 1,800 for a 9.8. I just bought a 9.8 for $250. It's
What?
bananas. Yes. Well,
Yo, that's
I
crazy.
hit market low on it. I mean, I think now some have sold back around 350, but it's bananas. People are sleeping on the Vision. He's coming back, and he's going to have his own show, and he's still important in the MCU.
Dude, number 2, if this is it's going to be hit or miss, but I think it's more hit than miss. If this hits, this is one of those ones. This is one of those what I call sleeper hits. Dead by Daylight is a top selling horror video game,
Hmm.
and this is a prequel comic book that ties directly into the game storyline. Obviously, we all know what the big game is right now. Uh, The Last of Us. This was another
Mm-hmm.
big horror book. This is the first comic book format based
Very
on the research
cool.
I've done. And cover now, this is cover A. There's some cool covers, but cover A actually features like the whole brand new team.
Hmm.
This game here, this is a game where you can either play the victims or you can play the killer and hunt down. Yeah, and you can either hunt the victims or you can play the killer. I mean, you can play the killer hunting the victims, or you can play the victim who has to stay alive to the end of the game and finish some objectives. Right. So Titan Books did this adaptation for the comic book, and they're going to introduce 4 new victims as a
Wow.
prequel to the video game. So, looking at video game adaptations do very well. God of War,
Yeah. Well, you
Resident
have
Evil.
two fan bases, right?
Yeah.
And that helps a lot. I'll tell you what I'd really love to have is first appearance of The Witcher,
Yeah.
because I was a huge fan of that Netflix series, and I guess we're getting a season 3, but it'll be without Superman, so we'll see how that is. But yeah, you don't want to regret missing
Yeah,
these,
man.
right?
I'm not sure how I feel about that, not having dude that plays Superman as the Witcher. I kind of
Henry
got used to
Cavill.
him here.
I
Yeah.
mean, I thought it
Henry
was
Cavill.
phenomenal in that role. It was a big part of why I liked it, but I'm also open-minded. We'll see what they do.
We'll see. But yeah, Dead by Daylight. I think this could be a big sleeper hit. Again, it's one of those easy plays. It's just too easy to just grab a bunch of number ones. Just grab some number ones, one of each cover. Spend about
Yeah,
$20.
yeah.
Video game tie-in. So yeah, that's why that one made number one for me. Plus Titan, they don't do a large print run, so it's one of those things where
No.
yeah, it's like once they're gone, they're
Yeah.
gone. It's gonna be a big shakeup for people trying to hunt it down. So number one this week, again, it could have any of the top five
Before
could have
you
been number
before
one.
you do one,
Sure.
I want to make one more comment on this. I
What
love
you
your
got?
selection. Make sure you get all the pertinent characters on the cover, right? Sometimes cover A is the correct cover, and this is probably an example of that.
Yeah, here, as a matter of fact, let me show you real quick because I'm looking like, oh, which cover is the dopest? Like which cover looks great? But I'm like, hold on, the whole team's on this cover.
Yep. It's
Yeah,
important.
so here.
It's important, man, because slabbing is a big part of the game now. You want to be able to see all the characters on the cover, man.
Yeah,
So,
that's
there might
that's the
be a
main
1 in
cover.
10 that only has one of them, and it might be a cool cover, but it's going to have less mass appeal because, each one of those characters is somebody's favorite, right? And they don't
Right.
have their favorite on the cover. They're less interested in that first, issue. So anyway,
Yeah, no, as you see right here, key events, first appearance, and then it names each character. So this
yeah,
is the characters on the cover. I
yeah.
mean, it does have some other
Sometimes
cool
cover A is
covers.
the right cover. Yep.
Yeah, I almost went with
I
that
love
one,
it.
but yeah, no, cover A was the way to go. So let's get with
Yep.
number one. And number one, I think this is going to be a pretty big book. This is going to be a brand new ongoing series. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's do something special here. I got to show you this. No, this is for posterity. We got to do this here. Check this out. Hang on a second. Let's do this. Number one. I actually gave a preview video of the new comic book. How cool is that?
Cool.
So this is a preview look of all the interior artwork.
So Image doesn't normally do this.
Not like this. I'm just looking at the potential for this book. I'm like, damn, like they're really digging deep with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
I know, right? I was like,
Cool.
oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I got to put that on the streaming. Um, again, it's got some great homage covers. It's got
Right.
the AF. Look at that, the AF-15.
Right,
It's
of
got the
course.
T2. Oh, hold on. There's more. There were so
I like
many.
the
I was like,
Terminator.
damn, I can't wait
Of
to take
these, I
one of
like the
these home.
Terminator one. Let's
Yeah.
see.
And then it's got this one. This is
Show
the
me what
one
else
that
you got.
people really need to go after. Look at that. The Eminem Show. That's a
Oh
classic,
yeah.
classic album cover. Something Epic #1. Yeah, that's what we'll just call the Eminem cover. That's cover
Right.
E.
Mm-hmm.
And
And these
then
are all open order, like you said.
these are all open order. And of course, game boxes are so hot right now.
Yeah.
They took it all the way back to the Pokemon like classic video game or whatever. I think
Right.
that's what that thing is. I think that's what that's supposed to be. But yeah, uh something about a kid and it's kind of like Ready Player One. Like a
Mm-hmm.
kid lives in a fanny. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, they're just really playing up all of the licensed characters, that they can work with in terms of story. So possibilities are endless, dude. Like they can take that
Yeah.
as far as they want to take it, man. So yeah, dude. And this is one of those lists. There were so many books. There were like 15 books. There were 5 books. I had to take them off.
Yeah.
The main one, the most glaring omission was Spider-Man 7 second print. Obviously, because I did it last week, I did it early. So I was like, I'm not going to do it again. So yeah.
Look, there's going to be a lot of people. That's going to be a heavily printed book too.
Which one? You
So
think the
you're
second print?
the second print. I do think so. Yeah.
So the second
Um,
print's going to be a heavy print, which is going to make the first print.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you're just where I'm sitting. Your ability to flip the second print's going to be tough, as everybody's got their eyes open now. It's not a sleeper, right? It's
It's
going to be
not a
heavily
sleeper.
printed.
I think what's going to happen is it's going to be a bunch sent in to CGC to get slab 9.8s because
Sure.
people are going to try to squeeze whatever value they can. But I was
Sure.
actually talking to someone on Instagram. We were talking about, modern slabs, kind of iffy. You might have a better rate of return just flipping raws.
I think that's generally true. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Now, the way
But
from what I've read with Spider Boy, they got a lot planned for this character. And from what I understand, it's a wholly original character. So it's not going to be something where they pull the rug out from under. It's like, oh, it was so and so when they were younger. They're like, no, this is a wholly original character. As a matter of fact, it sounds like they're going to retcon him a lot like they did the Sentry. How they said,
yeah,
the Sentry was here in the universe,
right.
Marvel MCU.
Since the 60s,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, the world forgot, but now I'm back. Ta-da.
Mm-hmm.
Because unlike a lot of people actually read Spider-Man 7. And so the guy's introduction, he's like, hey, nobody remembers me? And they're like, nah, who are you? And he's like, what the hell? Then he goes spinning off somewhere. So there's that whole mystery they got to unravel. So yeah, that spoiler variant first print, it's a lot left in the tank. A lot left in the
Yeah,
tank.
I agree. Yeah, that's one. You said you sold one, right?
I sold a few.
You
I
kept
flipped
some though.
out of 20 I ordered, I ended up getting 7 copies. I flipped 3, and then I took the money from the flip and then bought every copy under $20. So I got 4 more copies at around $15.
Okay.
I
Okay.
I did all this Wednesday and Thursday of last week.
You got to. That's part of the thing.
Yeah.
You got to make time when you got to make hay when the sun's shining, right? And when
Right.
that's another thing that I would caution people. If you don't have time to dedicate on Thursdays when these books come out and they're hot, then you're probably not going to be successful at this game, right?
Right.
You got to
Right.
be paying attention, or I guess you can do your work ahead of time. You can post pre-sales and you can do some things, but it'll be tougher.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, you can just follow me, turn on alerts. I'll help you out. I do all the heavy lifting for you. And,
Well, you can't sell their copies for them.
I cannot fill their copy. That is so true. That is so true. But yeah, man, great list. Oh, my man, yeah, Mo's actually the one. MA3 is actually the one that put me onto that second print. I went and ordered a bunch of 1 in 25s. I have
Okay.
5
Yeah.
copies. 5 copies
Wow.
coming in. Yeah.
We'll see how heavily printed it is, whether or not the 1 in 25 is still something that is, where the supply is not flooding the market.
You know what the comp? I think the comp for that is. I think the comp is going to be timeless. Timeless number one, miss
Uh-huh.
minutes.
Uh-huh.
The miss minutes second print, the 1 in 25, if I remember correctly, was a black and white virgin variant. I
Right.
want to say the peak price was $300.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the cover A of the second print is going to be heavily printed. So that
Yes.
one's, your ability to flip, that's going to be, I think, limited. But when they do stuff like this, when they have a 1 in 25, then what happens is, does that become the rarest variant available for this book?
It's
And if
going to
it
be a
does, then the
yeah.
sky's the limit, right?
Well, it's a virgin variant of the spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. But you know what?
Another good example of that is go back to Spider-Gwen. Her first appearance has been reprinted, I think, 7 times, right? There were like 5 printings of Edge of Spider-Verse 2, and
Yeah.
then it was
And they're all
reprinted in
aren't they
Spider-Gwen
they're all
0.
color scheme. They're all color
Yep.
scheme variants,
And
right?
then there was one design variant, but the rest were colors. And then
Yeah.
then it's reprinted in Spider-Gwen 0, and then Spider-Gwen 0 had a second print. The
I saw
rarest of all of them
all of
is
them.
the second print of Spider-Gwen 0.
Spider-Gwen 0. I sold Spider-Gwen 0 last year for $40 on Instagram, a direct sale. Someone bought it from me.
That second print has sold for well over $1,000.
Of Spider-Gwen 0.
Right.
See, that's insane.
Yeah,
Well,
but
here's
it's
what
the
I
rarest variant. If you're a completionist, and there's just I don't remember exactly what the total number slabbed is, but it's it's just double digits. It's well under 100,
well,
if I
that's
recall correctly.
I do have a good feeling about Spider-Man 7 second print because it features Spider-Man and Spider-Boy prominently. And it's original artwork. It's not a color scheme.
The
It's
new
not
cover.
interior page. It's all new, brand new artwork, which is what I love.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's just that it doesn't end up being super dramatically overprinted and too
I
many
don't think
people
so.
ordering, 20, 50 copies each.
I actually ordered about 25 copies.
I know you did. That's fine. But we just don't want everybody to do that. Then there's nobody left to buy. I'm not saying that nobody should do that. I'm just saying we don't want everybody to do that.
And there's levels to this. There's the Wednesday Warriors, there's the FOC Warriors, and then there's the general population. And
Yeah.
Wednesday Warriors and FOC Warriors, we go big, like you said, go hard.
Yeah.
What did you tell me that day? You said go big or
Oh, you went
uh,
deep.
you went deep. Yeah, I did. I
Yep.
go deep. So that's what I do.
Yep.
All right, man. Thanks for hanging out with me on the show. This show turned out better than I expected. This is going to be a good one. I'm going to post some highlights on Instagram. And yeah, whenever you want, man, you can pop back in. We're going to do it again.
Great. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And looking forward to it. And we'll talk after about getting me some of those Avengers one with John Tyler Christian.
Christopher. You want to call this guy Christian so bad. JT
I'm just trying to mess with you. I'm just trying to
Hey,
mess with you.
the list is going to go up on my Instagram tomorrow, and we'll see what people's reaction is going to be. I'm curious to see how people react to that. I'm going to feature that one prominently because that's sick. That's a
Yeah,
sick
it is.
cover. Yeah. All right, man. I'll catch you on the
All right,
gram, man.
J-Dub, have a great week. Take care.
All right. Later.
Bye, y'all.